Hey y'all. How y'all doing? I'm here. Hello and welcome back. It's your girl Leilani Pauline. I am finally back with yet another tutorial. Once again, opening the vault to all my top confidential beauty secrets. If you too would like to become a confidential beauty, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Or to stay up to date with me and see what's been going on where I've been, you can follow me on Instagram at a confidential beauty. So, where have I been? I've been dealing with some very bad special type of different acne, but I am back now and ready in full effect. I'll talk about how I have recovered from that acne journey in another tutorial, but this is our first makeup controversy series, and today we'll be discussing the controversy surrounding drugstore makeup and how it's supposedly cheap and poor quality. I don't see poor quality nowhere on this face. Okay. That's what we're going to be getting into today, and I can't wait. So if you guys are interested in this look, keep watching. Supposedly drugstore makeup is cheap. Sis, where? Didn't see it, wasn't on my receipt. Like, that's not true. Drugstore makeup is not cheap. Affordable, yeah, maybe, but definitely not cheap. Let me just show y'all what I mean. Just come on. So the first step will be priming with the serum. I'll be using the Wet n Wild Prime Focus Primer Serum. This little cute little thing right here. Speaking of steps, let's take it back and discuss the steps and where I think we went wrong. So somewhere down the line, we started labeling drugstore makeup and we started attaching certain we started attaching certain labels to certain brands. Ooh, this is so lightweight and so hydrating. Love that. Look at what it did to our skin. You guys see that? You guys see a difference? So yeah, certain labeling like cheap, that kind of diminishes the value of a product. Like when you think about it, it's almost like implying a product doesn't work. So maybe we should switch to the term affordable. That's just more accepting. Like it may possibly still work and just be affordable, but cheap, you just like throwing it away. Let's dead that in 2021. That mentality is so old. Throw it out. If we make that detachment, we could really move forward and start giving drugstore makeup the true recognition that it deserves, especially nowadays. So moving on, I'll be using my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. So I'm expecting this to really mattify and smooth the skin. If it does that for me, then it works. Let's see. Blurring the skin. Definitely smooth the skin. Okay, e.l.f. Yes. Really loving this. Oh my gosh. It feels so good. I just can't stop rubbing it into my skin. It's still soft. Oh, yes. See y'all, look, it worked so good. And listen, if we really just stop buying products for the name and start buying it for the actual function that it's intended to provide for us, we'll get somewhere. We'll get somewhere. See, this is the only reason we should be buying makeup, because it works, not because of the name behind it. But I know why we do it. I know why we do it. And I'm finna get into that. Just grab your teacups, get ready to sip, because some of y'all gonna be mad. Now hold up real quick. I like to set my primer, and I usually like to go in with a very loose setting powder. I'm going to be going in with the Black Radiance Loose Setting Powder. Let's see how that's looking. Look at that. Ooh, did y'all see that? Hold on. Let's do it again. Okay. Oh my gosh. Super finely milled. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see how it's produced and the formula, and look at that. I have high hopes, and that's the exact type of powder that I love to set my primer with. So in order to do so, I'll be using my JUNO & Co microfiber sponge. This is the packaging it came in. Comes with this little thing right here, and it comes with a pamphlet on, like, you know, what you need to know and how you can use it. I know you guys probably just look at this stuff and throw it away. So do I. Take this right here, dip it into the powder, this side right here, this flat side. I love that this beauty blender has like a flat edge to it. Oh yes. Yes, that's the type of effect that I want. Like, if this powder isn't going up my nose, just not doing its job. This one right here is doing its job. But like I was saying, you know, this tea I was getting ready to spill. And listen up, listen up. The real reason why we overhype these, you know, big brands and we shy away from drugstore makeup is because drugstore makeup doesn't pay the bills.
And no, 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 no shade. No shade. No shade.
Drugstore makeup doesn't pay the bills. When's the last time you seen a drugstore makeup collab with a beauty guru? I mean, yes, Alyssa Ashley has done like e.l.f. and it happens, but not usually. You don't see big beauty gurus collab with drugstore makeup as much. You just don't. Social media definitely controls how we, you know, how we perceive a certain product. Like, that's why we shift to buy certain products that we're programmed to see. Now, disclaimer, this ain't no dig at beauty gurus. We put y'all on to some pretty good products. Just honestly speaking, drugstore makeup isn't on our platform as much as these high-end brands. Like, we just give so much hype to them, and sometimes we forget about the drugstore makeup because it's not constantly being, you know, slammed down our throats like these other brands. It's just a fact. It's not a dig. It is what it is. That's just the truth. I'm gonna use this powder to really mattify my brow hair. Boop, bop, done. So now we're ready for brows. I'm going to be using my NYX brow pencil. For my brow pencils, I'm looking for a specific type of look. If I'm using a pencil, it's because I want those hair-like strokes. So, oh, let me shut up. Look at that. Oh, honey, it's the hair-like strokes for me. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the day, it used to be impossible to find a really good drugstore pencil, like a drugstore brow pencil. Back in the day, we used to use like eyeliner as a dupe. We was struggling. Drugstore back in the day had us struggling, huh, y'all? So I get it. In comparison to like Sephora and Ulta, you know, they have a more consistent reputation as far as product satisfaction. Like, drugstore makeup used to be a couple of steps behind, if you know what I mean. But honey, nowadays they're like definitely setting the pace, especially e.l.f. Don't play with e.l.f. e.l.f. has been producing some bangers like left and right. So speaking of e.l.f., I'm going to be using their Hydrating Camel Concealer, and it is claiming to be a full coverage satin finish. I'll be the judge of that. I'm actually going to mix the shade Deep Olive and Medium Warm. Mix these two together. And I'm just going to clean up my brows with this. So far, I really love the consistency of this product. Moment of truth. Let's see how this concealer blends out because it's already drying down. And you guys might know the faster a concealer dries down, the harder it is to blend out. Despite that usually being the case, this is still fairly easy to blend. Like, oh my god, it's blending like butter. Look at how good that's blending. Like, honey, you know what, brushes down. I'm about to have a new favorite concealer and I'm not playing. Did you really just do that? Wow. Let me put a little bit more of the medium deep right here to prime our lids for eyeshadow. I'm just seriously amazed with how well this is blending. I'll be going in with the remainder of the setting powder that's on here just to get that to set nicely and dry that out. Oh my gosh, I really love that setting powder too. It works so good. Now for eyeshadow, I have options. We can go in with our e.l.f. little mini eyeshadows, or we can use the Milani Gilded Desires. I absolutely love this palette. It has like this beautiful gold in here that is just absolutely so freaking stunning. Let's just use all of it. Why not? While we are doing our eyeshadow, let's talk about another major contributor to this drugstore makeup controversy. Drugstore eyeshadow probably makes the biggest deposit towards this whole dilemma. Because, well, how do I say this nicely? Okay, so just hear me out. Think about it. Sometimes it's not the product. Sometimes it's the applicator. Sometimes it's just us. We just don't apply certain products right. Like when it comes to drugstore eyeshadow, just because the formula is very different. One thing I will say about drugstore eyeshadow is that it is very, very sensitive, okay? Sis be in her feelings. You really have to use delicate pressure when using drugstore eyeshadow if you wanted to blend and give you that like effortless and gradual type of effect when it comes to color. I have a tutorial explaining that in my beginner eyeshadow friendly tutorial if you guys want to know what I mean by, you know, a delicate touch. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead after this tutorial. Hold up. But like with this drugstore eyeshadow, the second you step out of line, that's it. You're arrested. Sis pressing charges ASAP. It's very unforgiving, but if you are gentle with her, she will be your best friend. And I know it sounds really crazy, but honestly, we can't just keep canceling products because we're not using them correct. If you screw a light bulb in, is it still gonna work or is it not? It's not. You ain't doing it right. Like drugstore makeup has a standard. See? Blended. Now we're gonna use this color, and I'm sorry, this is the e.l.f. palette in Pumpkin Pie. So I'm going in with a smaller brush and we're going to smoke out our outer V. Another insight, y'all, professional makeup artists have a couple of drugstore staples in their kit. Just saying. I really think it's because they have the experience. And honestly, I see drugstore makeup way more on like Runway and Vogue. You know, goes to show you, it's not that it doesn't work, and it's not that it's bad, and it's not that it's poor quality. You just have to know how to work it, you know? Like the formula for the eyeshadow is very, very different. Sometimes it can be super powdery or it can be super patchy in terms of blending. And I mean like powdery, like loose setting powder-ish. And that's not a good thing. I'm not saying that in a good way. But you know, the number one issue that I consistently run into in terms of like drugstore eyeshadow is the color. Color. And that has nothing to do with anything but the formula. Drugstore makeup overall, the ingredients aren't as elaborate as the ingredients in our other, like, you know, high-end brands. If I feel like, you know, the ingredients are very limited, thus contradicting it from being like effortless. Like you have to put a little bit more effort into your drugstore makeup looks versus like your high ends. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just means like it's sensitive. Drugstore makeup is affordable for a reason. It's all about the ingredients. But nonetheless, do they work? Yes. You would be surprised at like the amount of drugstore makeup that these professional makeup artists have in their kit. You're like, so you're not using Kylie? Oh, okay. Especially when you don't have to spend a certain amount of money. Why would you do that? I just can't stress enough how much we should be buying products because they serve a certain purpose more than because of the name or because of this supposed, you know, expected quality. Like, see how this one, it's very, very, very powdery. That's a problem that I run into with drugstore eyeshadows sometimes. So I will be honest, and I do shy away from the eyeshadow, but it's good in so many other departments, so don't just let one department make you have this type of persona throughout the whole entire community. But bam, look, we are blended, snatched, and ready to put on our lashes. So I'm gonna be using my Kiss lashes. These are in the style Chiffon. If you guys don't know about Kiss lashes, they are so freaking good. They really mimic our natural lash to me. It gives you like that nice like flutter and that nice like softness at the same time. I'm also going to be using the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive with aloe. Love that it has aloe because aloe is very good for the skin, especially if you're going to use this technique right here. And you guys know we're going to be going in with an OG mascara. This is by Maybelline, the Watermelon Mascara. That's been around for quite some time, just to camouflage these lashes and make them a little bit more believable. And to apply that like so. Now I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild MegaLiner just to camouflage the lash band, you know, just a little bit. Okay, so that was that on the eyes. Now let's go ahead and move on to foundation. I'm going to be going in with the Dream Radiant Wild. Radiant and Wild. Whoa, that's not what it's called. Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation. Now this is supposed to be a full coverage, but let's see how much it's willing to cover up. Like, are we covering up problems? Are we covering up crimes? What are we doing here? Like, how much coverage are you gonna give me? So that's what we're getting ready to find out. If it's a little dark, that's okay. I'd rather my foundation match my neck instead of my face, because my face is always gonna be lighter. I was born that way. Maybe it's Maybelline. First of all, coverage is full. It's covering up all my issues. It's covering up my history. At this point, where was I even born? Listen, on this channel, we're gonna say a lot of funny, stupid stuff. So I'm not even gonna hold myself accountable for that. Now, honestly, I think I need one more layer. Well, let's do that and let's see how she builds. Is she gonna start caking up, or is she just gonna still give us flawless skin vibes, or what? What's she gonna do? Wow, that blended out so good. Like, so good. So good. Now keep in mind, this is a radiant foundation. Honestly, I think sometimes, depending on the foundation, I'd rather have a dewy foundation that I can mattify at the end with powders versus starting off with like a mattified foundation and putting mattifying powders on top. There's like, okay, you know what, your skin is really soft, glam, matte, snatched today, and then there's like, honey, are you awake, or do you need CPR? Like, what's going on? Are you here? Are we okay? All right, well, welcome to the party. You know, there's that, and that should never be a thing. I think I'm doing a pretty good job at showing you guys how well these products genuinely work. And if I'm not mistaken, the drugstore is the only thing that's open right now. I'm just saying, stop saying that you can't get the same quality products at the drugstore that you can at Sephora. That's not necessarily true. In some cases, maybe. No, in some cases, yeah. Not maybe, yeah. But not all cases. There is some, you know, hidden gems and hidden treasures at the drugstore. So now we're going to be moving on to concealer, and I'm going to be going in with my e.l.f. Camo Concealer that we loved so much in the beginning. She's coming back, and love the applicator. That fan is not sold at the drugstore, but you can find it on Amazon for a drugstore affordable price. Just saying. Let's blend this out. Coming up. Look at that blend. Really, really, really good. And half of it is due to the beauty blender, the inexpensive beauty blender, and the other half is due to the actual product of the concealer. Like, this concealer is amazing. Why would you ever want to sleep on this concealer? Because it's at the drugstore? Honey, no. Do you guys see this blend? If this isn't proving to you that drugstore makeup is not to be slept on, I don't know what will. I don't know what it's gonna take. I just don't know. Is it even possible? Hello to this $5 beauty blender, giving me the absolute softest, most airbrush like skin. Oh my god. Love, love, love that. Now we're going to be using our CoverGirl True Blend Concealer. I remember back in the day when our queen Latifah was the ads for CoverGirl, like, and when they were sponsoring America's Next Top Model. Oh my gosh, easy, breezy, beautiful CoverGirl. CoverGirl has came quite a ways, because look at this coverage. I don't think CoverGirl used to be about this life. Now she is. This concealer is really, really good. You guys know which concealer really changed the game for drugstore makeup? It was LA Pro Girl. It was LA Pro Girl, and that's when people were like, MAC who? NC45 who? LA Pro Girl really changed the game, but CoverGirl is definitely stepping it up, and I've been waiting and really dying for a really good drugstore concealer, and I just really showed you guys that it's out there. It's either e.l.f. or CoverGirl. Now it is going to be time to set, because we are super blended thanks to this microfiber sponge that's only $5. Sorry, I just can't stop saying that. I'm going to be dipping in to my powder, and I gotta hurry up and set before we start creasing, you know? And just keep pressing it in, and you'll get a nice soft blend eventually. To just lightly place this everywhere we highlighted, for sure, but just lightly. You know what I mean? Not a whole bunch. Here as well, even though we didn't highlight there, just to like bring that area out a little bit more. A powder that has been really slept on for a very long time, and quite frankly, I'm tired of it. It's the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder. This powder needs to stop being slept on. Like, stop. Don't do it anymore. Look at that. Do you guys see how it just softened on her face? I don't know why anybody would ever want to sleep on a powder like this. Like, why would we do that? If you just go like right here, you'll give yourself a nice natural contour. Snatched. I'm going to be using my Black Radiance True Complexion contour palette, and don't let this color intimidate you. Set first, and then I'll start doing this kind of motion. We'll just blend up. I'm just gonna add a little bit more of my powder to help that blend. My L'Oreal True Match powder. And now we can go on with blush. I'm going to be using my Milani Rose Powder Blush. Listen, this is another thing that I understand. It is really hard to find a good drugstore blush sometimes, but this one right here in this palette, ooh, so cute. Look at that. Oh, yes. And bring it, you know, on the nose a little bit. And now I'm going to go back in with my e.l.f. palette one more time for the one time underneath the eye. Going in with this burgundy because I want to do a burgundy lip, I think. Using this shade right here. So I'm going to be using my Mented Foxy pencil liner. And I did cheat a little bit, y'all. This is not at the drugstore, but it is at like Target. Now I'm going to be using this Clarity matte lipstick. That's a little too nudie. I'm going to add a little bit of concealer in there. Like so. Ta-da! Now I'm going to Make It Last with my Milani Make It Last spray. And before that totally dries, let's go in with the Maybelline Master Chrome. I've been dying to get my hands on this color, and when I finally did, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, give it to me. Now I will be honest, I don't highlight as much anymore in comparison to what we used to do back in the day. It's now all about like a nice, like natural, soft glow. Did you guys see what that Milani Make It Last spray did? Honey, she came. We're here. We've arrived. And look at that. We are done. Look at how well this turned out. I hope me doing this tutorial really displayed the power of drugstore makeup, so we can stop sleeping on it in 2021. Like, dead that. Drugstore makeup is here. It is very affordable. It's not cheap. And sis ain't coming to play with y'all. Let me let my hair down. Let you guys get the full effect.
But somehow you make me change. Like I'm better off with you.
I'll see you guys soon. Bye.